After all of the trouble in the previous videos with getting the lower levels of the superstructure to fit together nicely and in the right position, I'm ready for an easier piece of the superstructure to work on. Initially, I thought that is exactly what I would get with the construction of this part up to the third deck on the aft of the superstructure. While the plastic is very simple, there are only 4 pieces that are involved here, and I have already test fitted the H10 and B1 parts, so I know that they won't be a problem. Then I looked at the photo etch and I groaned, specifically because of step 9. This illustration shows that a splinter shield attached to a photo etch deck needs to be folded up into position and then have rounded corners that perfectly match the edge of the deck. This is then going to be stuck on top of a piece of plastic that it is also going to have to perfectly match. If anyone has ever tried to bend a piece of sheet metal to match another piece of sheet metal while getting a perfect curve and then also have all of that match another thing, you'll know that this is not an easy task. In fact, when I looked at it, I thought this was going to be downright impossible to get right, and that this might actually be a case where leaving the plastic would give a better result than removing it and replacing it with photo etch. Fortunately, at that point, I didn't abandon replacing this plastic with photo etch, and I actually looked at the photo etch component, and I saw that on the rounded corners there are these corrugations in the photo etch. These corrugations, I presumed, because I've never seen these before, are to help you bend the photo etch around the corner in a uniform way. So I have decided to give it a shot, and I will replace these splinter shields with photo etch just so that I can get a thinner splinter shield and 1 rung of hand railing above it. Also, I suppose I get a more detailed deck, but this is potentially quite a lot of work for a very limited payoff. In addition to that piece of photo etch, there are also multiple hatches that I'm going to be replacing. This is a standard feature for constructing the superstructure on this model. The last bit of photo etch work that I'll do in this video is to replace the base for the 40mm gun directors. This plastic will be cut off and will be replaced with these photo etch struts. In the previous video, or was it 2 videos ago, I already had cut some of these components off of their sprue so that I could do that test fit to make sure all the components would actually fit together, because I had to remove some plastic from the middle of the superstructure, which was a bit awkward. So I've already removed some of these components. What I need to do now is remove this smooth plate that goes at the back of the structure. All of these components are well formed with little flashing. There is a little bit of flashing on the edge of this deck structure, but that doesn't really matter because it's most prominent where the splinter shield is, which is going to be completely removed. So that really won't affect me at all. After cleaning off the excess plastic with clippers and files, then move on to remove the plastic splinter shield. I start with clippers to hack off the majority of the plastic. I don't need to be very careful about the deck because the deck is also going to be covered over with photo etch, so I can be quite rough in this area of the ship, not have to worry if I damage the plastic while removing the splinter shield. After the majority of the splinter shield is hacked off, I use a bar file to remove the excess plastic just to smooth it out so that the photo etch deck will be able to sit flat across the entire surface. The other plastic details that need to be removed are also hacked off. This is now the hatches. The same process that I followed for all of the hatches is followed again here. Clippers are used to gouge out the majority of the plastic, and then a bar file is used to smooth out the area, after which sandpaper is used to remove any scratches that the bar file has left. Now that all the plastic components are cleaned up, they can be glued together. Because I am concerned about the fit of these components in this area of the ship, I'm still a little bit nervous about that extra plastic that I had to remove from the center of the structure previously. So to be sure that everything is going to fit together correctly without large gaps, I'm going to glue these components together while they are sitting on the deck. Since I am using extra thin plastic cement, I do need to be careful about where capillary action pulls the glue. In this case, all that I need to do is be careful not to apply glue too close to that bulkhead that separates the forward and aft third superstructure decks. If I do that, this component will be easy to remove from the deck. After waiting a few seconds for the glue to grip, components can be removed from the deck and I can install the third face that goes at the aft of the structure. All of these components are fitting together quite well, so I'm quite happy with that. It just goes to show that those adjustments that I made earlier on were actually correct and necessary. There's genuinely a defect in the size of those components. I'm still surprised that that kind of a mistake could have been made. Anyway, Now that the plastic cement has had sufficient time to dry that it's safe for me to handle these components, I can start filling some gaps. Starting with these holes in the deck, these are locator holes for the plastic struts that go up to the 40mm directors. Since this is going to be replaced with photo-etch, I need to fill these holes, otherwise they're going to be ugly holes in the deck. To fill holes like these, I like to use superglue. Superglue will be very strong once it is fully set, and you can accelerate the speed at which it sets using superglue accelerator. After I have removed the tape on the top surface, the surface will be a bit rough, and in this case when removing the tape I didn't leave it long enough to set, so I have pulled out some wet superglue. So I will fill the top of these holes with plastic putty. That will give me a nice surface that I can smooth to ensure that any trace of these holes is completely obliterated. While I'm applying putty, I might as well also address all the various seam lines. There are a few of them around the component, so I place plastic putty over all of the seam lines and then set the component aside to dry for several hours. Once the putty has fully set, I use a file to remove the majority of the excess putty and then sanding paper to smooth out any scratches left behind by the file. That is all of the plastic work. Now for the photo etch. Let's find out how difficult these splinter shields are going to be. I think it would be a mistake to curve the photo etch splinter shield before I attach the deck to the plastic, because it's going to make it more difficult for me to precisely position the photo etch deck. All that I'll do is fold the splinter shield up into its vertical position to help me align the edges of the deck. To install the deck, I install it in the same way that I've installed all photo etch decks. I position it precisely without any glue, and then I apply extra thin super glue to the edge of the deck and let capillary action draw the glue underneath the photo etch. Once tacked in place, I work my way around the photo etch deck, applying more extra thin super glue to ensure that it is properly bonded down. Okay, now that the deck is in place, let's see how these splinter shields bend. I think the best way to do this is just to grab the other end and bend it into where it needs to go and hope that the corrugations cause the photo etch to bend into the correct shape. And it does. That's amazing. This is actually extremely easy. I don't think I've ever experienced photo etch curving this easily. It's precise. It fits the curve wonderfully. It's also really easy to hold it in place to glue it down. Since this is essentially just a solid chunk of metal, I can just rest my thumb on it in the correct position and then apply super glue to the edge using the super glue applicator, hold it for a few seconds, and it's bonded. This is working really well. Now that the splinter shield is in the correct position, I just need to do something about the gap between the metal and the plastic. Since I want this bond to be nice and strong, and because this is a nice flat area with nice smooth curves and no details, I'm going to fill this gap with extra thin super glue. I'm just going to build up layer and layer and layer, and then I'll be able to remove it with a file to get everything perfectly smooth so that the metal and the plastic blend together. While all of that super glue is left to dry, I'm going to work on the hatches. I'm now getting really low on this checkerboard style of hatch. After this round of hatches, I'm only going to have one left. I hope I don't need more than one after this. After folding the hatches into shape using the normal method, I apply a small drop of medium viscosity superglue to the bulkhead where the hatch needs to be placed. I then place the hatch on top of the superglue and then position the hatch into its correct orientation. After tacking in place all of the hatches using this method, I apply extra thin superglue to the base of the hatch to firmly bond the hatch to the bulkhead and all of the layers of the hatch together. Next up are the positions for the 40mm gun directors. After cutting the tubs off of their sprue, I clean up the excess plastic and then clip off their plastic support struts. After cleaning off the excess plastic, they are ready for the installation of their photo etch support struts. The photo etch support struts are removed from their fret and bent into position. A small amount of medium viscosity superglue is applied to the top of the support struts. This is just to tack the support struts in place. The bond is then reinforced with extra thin superglue that I apply with a wire. The 40mm gun director assembly can then be installed onto the deck. It is at this point that I noticed that there's actually a base plate on these support struts that will completely cover the holes that were there for the plastic support struts, so it wasn't actually necessary for me to fill them. To glue the support struts to the deck, I apply a small drop of medium viscosity superglue and then place the support strut on top of the superglue. Once I'm happy with the orientation of the support struts, I reinforce the bond using extra thin superglue that I apply with a wire. Now to clean up the superglue that is all over the place. To remove the majority of the superglue, I use a file, and then I use 600 grit sandpaper to smooth out the surface and remove any scratches. After all of the super glue has been cleaned up, I spray the photo etch with metal primer. This is just going to help the paint adhere to the metal, and then I spray the entire component with Mr. Surfacer. Since metal primer is also a primer for plastic, it's not really necessary to spray on Surfacer as well. The only reason why I am applying the Surfacer now is to help reveal defects so that I can correct them. And there are a few defects that do need to be corrected. Fortunately, none of them are very severe. All it requires is a little bit more sanding to remove a couple of visible seam lines. Another round of Surfacer is then applied, and everything is looking good. I am very happy with how this photo etch splinter shield turned out. I'm glad I took the chance on it. In the next video, I will continue working on the superstructure, building up to the 4th superstructure deck. If you don't want to wait for the scheduled release of videos and want to watch them when they are uploaded, consider becoming a channel member by clicking the join button below. If you would like to support the channel, like and subscribe, and as always, questions are welcome in the comments. Thank you for watching. Cheers.